In this video, we'll be taking a look at one NFL game happening on January 11th, 2025, and providing you with a free team pick and total pick for this game, so 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one NFL game after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. San Francisco 49ers versus Philadelphia Eagles. The San Francisco 49ers managed a regular season at 12-5 even while dealing with a pile of injuries to important players, including their quarterback Brock Purdy missing 8 games. That kind of chaos can wreck a season, yet they still hung around the top of the National Football Conference race right up until that home loss to the Seahawks last Saturday, a 13-3 setback that cost them a shot at the top seed and dropped them into the 6th seed. Now they head across the country to meet the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles, who finished at 11-6 after a roller coaster season with 3 separate 3-game winning streaks and 1 3-game losing skid, but still found a way to claim the National Football Conference East for a second straight year. Against the number, both teams ended up in the same place. Philadelphia and San Francisco each finished at 10-7 against the spread, which is a neat little reminder that both teams have had their fair share of inflation and discount spots from the market. The 49ers, though, were especially strong away from Levi's Stadium, winning 7 of 9 games on the road, which always matters in January when you are the side that has to hop on a plane. There is a little more nuance tucked into that road record. San Francisco picked up early statement wins over the Seahawks and Rams on the road in the first 5 weeks, which helped build confidence. The other 5 road victories came against teams with losing records, so it is fair to say they got some help from the schedule, but you still have to take care of business, and they did. When stepping into the underdog role, the Niners went 2-4 against the spread, although that includes an overtime win over the Rams in Week 5 when they were catching 6.5 points. So they have already shown they can hang around as road dogs in tough environments. Philadelphia at home has been a little more uneven than you might expect for a defending champion. The Eagles went 4-4 against the spread at Lincoln Financial Field and even took outright losses there to the Broncos and the Bears. Offensively, they slipped from last year's level, ranking 24th in yards per game at 311.2, which was the 3rd lowest mark among all playoff teams after they were 8th in that category during their Super Bowl run the previous season. That drop is not just cosmetic, it feeds directly into why this matchup feels so close. Recent history between these teams adds another emotional wrinkle. Their most recent meeting came in December of 2023 when the 49ers went into the Link and absolutely rolled Philadelphia, winning 42-19 as 3.5-point road favorites. Purdy fired 4 touchdown passes in that game, and now departed wide receiver Deebo Samuel found the end zone 3 times, turning the afternoon into a one-sided statement. Before that, the last postseason clash was the 2022 National Football Conference Championship, when the Eagles hammered the 49ers 31-7, although that game went sideways early once Purdy was injured and San Francisco was basically forced to run the ball the rest of the day. Under their current head coach, the Niners are 6-3 in the playoffs since 2021 and have not been knocked out in their first postseason game during that stretch. That track record matters when you are trying to guess which side is more comfortable in a high-pressure opener. If you look just at the records this season, the teams feel similar, but the way they have been trending makes things tilt a bit. San Francisco has been the better road team and comes into this one having gone 6-1 in its last 7 games and 5-2 against the spread over that span. On the other side, the Eagles have stumbled to a 3-4 record in their last 7 and are also 3-4 against the spread in that same stretch. That is not a collapse, but it is not exactly a surge either, and their offense has not looked as reliable or explosive as the 49ers' attack. So it is reasonable to say the Eagles are getting a bit too much respect in this spot based more on name and recent rings than on current form. The venue piece is interesting too. San Francisco has actually gone 3-2 in its last 5 trips to Philadelphia, which undercuts the idea that this is some sort of house of horrors for them. If anything, it supports the expectation that they can at least keep this game tight regardless of how loud it gets or how cold it feels. When you match two teams with sturdy defenses, it becomes natural to lean on which offense you trust more, and right now that answer tilts toward the Niners. The Eagles have been rescued by their defense more than a few times this season. They have been outgained in plenty of their games, yet they still escaped with wins because their defense held in the red zone or came up with timely stops. It would not be shocking if the same pattern showed up here, where the yardage numbers tell one story and the score tells another. But if you are talking purely about which side is more trustworthy to move the ball and keep drives alive against a high-level defense, San Francisco feels like the safer call. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Francisco 49ers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Switching gears from who covers the number to how the scoreboard might look, this matchup sets up as a tug of war between one team that has leaned toward higher totals and another that has consistently pulled games toward lower scores. The 49ers finished the season at 10-7 to the over. That tells you that their games tended to land on the higher side more often than not, especially when you factor in how they closed the year. 6 of San Francisco's 9 road games went over the total, and in 3 of their final 4 away games they went past the 34-point mark on the scoreboard, which suggests their offense has traveled reasonably well. When they faced playoff-level competition on the road, they allowed a combined 36 points to Seattle and Los Angeles, which hints at a defense that can still hold its own while the offense does enough to push totals into that middle range. Philadelphia has leaned the other direction. The Eagles went 10-7 to the under for the second straight season, which is a pretty clear pattern rather than a fluke. At home, they finished 5-3 to the under, and they held opponents to 21 points or fewer in 5 of those games. Down the stretch, their offense sputtered quite a bit, scoring fewer than 21 points in 7 of their final 9 games. That kind of inconsistency on offense naturally drags totals downward, since you cannot count on them to hold up their side of a shootout for 4 full quarters. Defensively, Philadelphia has a secondary performance that cannot be ignored. They ranked 8th in the league in passing yards allowed per game at 189.8, which is a strong number in a pass-heavy era. They now face a San Francisco offense that ranked 5th in passing yards despite having its starter on the shelf for a big chunk of the year. Purdy averaged 240.7 passing yards across his 9 appearances, while backup Mac Jones logged 268.8 passing yards per game in his 8 starts. Those averages show that the 49ers' passing production stayed afloat no matter which quarterback was under center, which usually pushes games toward at least moderate scoring, even if they do not turn into full track meets. On the other side, Jalen Hurts quietly finished with more passing yards this season than he had during last year's run to the Super Bowl, throwing for 3,224 yards compared with 2,903 the year before. Even so, he averaged just a bit over 200 passing yards per game. That profile is steady but not explosive, more methodical than flashy. It nudges this matchup toward a game where drives are often longer and more deliberate rather than constant deep ball fireworks. The posted total here sits at 44.5, which drops you right into that range where a few key drives and red zone results can swing the entire outcome on the total. Philadelphia closed the season with a 7-2 under record in its final 9 games. One of the rare overs came in the finale against Washington on a smaller 38.5 total, and that game only got there because the Commanders scored 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter of a 24-17 win. That kind of late push is not something you can comfortably assume will repeat. On the 49ers side, they went 3-1 to the under on the road in games where the total was 45 or less. So when the number has sat in this neighborhood, their road games have leaned toward lower scoring outcomes more often than not. Adding to that, each of the last 3 playoff openers for Philadelphia has finished under the total, with combined scores of 45, 41, and 32. It is a small sample, sure, but it fits the general theme of their first playoff game tending to be more controlled and defense-driven. Put all of this together, a strong Eagle pass defense, a 49ers passing attack that is efficient but not always wild, an Eagles offense that has struggled to consistently clear 20 points lately, and previous totals performance in this number range, and the picture points toward a game where both teams land in the low 20s. That type of script naturally leans under this total rather than over it. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.